Hey guys, how's it going? I decided to do a video titled Goku Family versus Vegeta Family. Who wins? If you compare them as they are, obviously Goku alone could pretty much deal with every member of Vegeta's family, and so could Gohan, at least after he becomes Ultimate Gohan. He could definitely deal with every member of Vegeta's family. So that wouldn't be a very fun or interesting discussion, would it? So, because of that, I decided to take them and just compare their experiences and stats and assume that they're even or around even in terms of power. Because obviously that would make a more interesting discussion than just saying, oh, Goku solos all of Vegeta's family or Mr. Gohan solos all of Vegeta's family. I mean, you're not going to get very far in terms of interest and entertainment if you just say that. So what we're going to do is we're going to match up one member of Goku's family versus one member of Vegeta's family and see how they compare based on what we've seen. Now, I'm not saying for certain that they would win, at least some of these, but from what we've seen, we can make a pretty good comparison. So the first comparison is King Vegeta versus Bardock. Now, why this would be pairing would be obvious because they're both the fathers of the main characters of the show, Goku and Vegeta. Now, it's interesting to note that in the manga we haven't really seen that much of Bardock and King Vegeta, especially King Vegeta when it comes to them fighting. So we're gonna have to go by history of Bardock and the anime episodes we've seen of King Vegeta. Well, anyway, when you compare the two from the anime that we've seen, while I do think it would be a pretty close fight because I do think they're around the same in terms of skill and everything, I still think Bardock would win because Bardock seems to me to be a little more tactical minded than King Vegeta, and on top of that, he survived a head-on blast from Dodoria, somebody who was much, much stronger than him. And Dodoria thought that he won, whereas King Vegeta couldn't survive even a hit from Frieza. Granted, Frieza's a lot stronger, but I'm just saying. Next, we're comparing Vegeta and Goku, also pretty obvious. I mean, they're rivals of the show. And, you know, they did fight twice, but the first time Goku was at base weaker than Vegeta. He needed Kaioken to catch up to Vegeta, and even then Vegeta as Ozuru was still stronger. And then the second fight, Goku was holding back against Vegeta. He could have gone Super Saiyan 3 and beaten Vegeta, but he didn't. So anyway, if you compare these two in terms of fighting style, fighting IQ, as well as just how well they fight tactically, I would say Goku wins. And this is even if they're around the same strength. Now, Vegeta does have the edge in ferocity and durability. I mean, Vegeta can take hit after hit after hit, whereas I've seen times where Goku is like, I can't feel my legs, and I'm almost done and all that. But ultimately, I still feel that Goku would win because he's just the overall better fighter than Vegeta. Next, we have Tarble versus Raditz. Now, this is interesting because we haven't seen Tarble fight at all, and we have seen plenty of Raditz fighting. However, we can make some inferences when it comes to what we know about Tarble and Raditz. Well, one thing we do know about them is their backstory. Well, sort of. We know that Tarble was weak enough to where he was sent away as a child, whereas Raditz was strong enough to where he could stay on planet Vegeta and was allowed to go on missions and stuff. Now, just by that fact alone, Raditz edges out, but also we've seen Raditz is actually a fighter. He does somewhat think tactically, not that much, but still. And he's very ferocious as a fighter. Tarble seems to be very gentle and such. And again, we haven't seen him fight much at all, and it's at least implied that he hasn't gotten much stronger since he first landed on whatever planet he went on. So by those facts alone, I have to say that Raditz would probably win the fight. Next we have Future Trunks versus Gohan. Now some are wondering why Future Trunks. Isn't he the same as Kid Trunks? Well, not really, because this Trunks comes from a future timeline, and on top of that, he has different experiences and techniques to where I consider them to be pretty much separate. I mean, genetically they're the same, but through experiences and techniques and such, and power, they're both quite different. Well, anyway, if you compare these two, while Gohan does have more battle experience than Trunks, I feel that Gohan's problem mainly lies in that he fools around too much when he fights people. Like, even if he's around the same strength, he doesn't really he doesn't fight that tactically. At least compared to Trunks. Trunks tries to fight to end the fight quickly, whereas Gohan drags it out. I mean, we all see what happens when he fought Cell and when he fought Super Buu. So, because Trunks is more tactical minded, and because Trunks tries to end the fight quickly, I say future Trunks would pretty much win against Gohan if they were basically the same strength. Next, we have the final fight between Kid Trunks and Kid Goten. Now, we've actually seen these two fight during the World Martial Arts Tournament. However, Trunks ended up beating Goten. Now, when I watched the fight, one thing I noticed immediately was that Goten was pretty much fighting like the average kid would, more or less. He was basically just like throwing punches and kicks and energy blasts, not using much strategy, whereas Trunks was pretty much outwitting Goten. In fact, I noticed that many times he was pretty much running circles around Goten when it came to strategy. Also, Trunks is implied to have more developed skills, such as the ability to control energy waves and such, whereas Goten still doesn't have the ability to do that. I mean, sure, he can launch energy waves, but he can't control where they go and such. So anyway, I think that Trunks would win against Goten because he's more tactical minded and more developed in skill. Alright, so those are the matchups. So ultimately, when you count them up, Bardock beats King Vegeta, Goku beats Vegeta, Raditz beats Tarble, Future Trunks beats Gohan, and Goten beats Kid Trunks. And if you tally it up, that means that Goku's family has 3 wins, and Vegeta's family has 2 wins. So if you average it out, ultimately Goku's family would win. And unlike a lot of matchups in which people do, this one's actually fair because it compares them as if they were equal in terms of power, and the only inequalities is their experiences and skill. Well, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see you guys later.